People of Earth, we come in peace.
Welcome to this neighborhood, neighbor.
I am the Martian ambassador.
Des Moines and all of central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
Good afternoon, 7 minutes after 3 on this third day of the third month of the year 2016. So it's 4 minutes ago, Bob, it would have been 3:03 on the third day of the third month. And we missed it.
I know.
How did I let that go by?
How did I let it go by?
I don't know. I blame you.
Thank you.
All right, so it is the 3rd of March. We are happy to have you here. Big presidential debate tonight. Absolutely got thrown up into the mud room this morning with just an incredible speech by my I can't call him my friend because that's not fair, but a man I have a high amount of respect for, that I have interviewed many times, and who stayed at my home one night last 4 years ago when he was running for president, Mitt Romney. And if you didn't hear it, we're gonna tell you all about it here in just a minute. Frank is back. Oh, I'm so pleased. So happy. Bob and I, we wept.
The place was falling apart yesterday, I could tell.
It was falling apart. Jill King wasn't listening, and you weren't here. And then what's his name? Chris
bailed on you.
He wasn't here. It was a tough day yesterday.
Yeah.
I barely made it through it. Almost had to drink.
I know.
I do want to remind you that there's a wonderful seminar called Passport to Retirement. And it is put on by Weiss and Merkel, two local guys. This is a local company, James Weiss and Lauren Merkel. It is going to be next Thursday, the 10th, and then the Thursday after that. It's $49 a couple. And I know these guys. They're not buying advertising. I'm trying to help them because I know when it comes to my retirement, I'm very fortunate that we have a really great guy. And these guys are really great guys. And do you need to be a great guy to be a good financial planner? No. Does it help? Yeah. It does help if they have a Christian heart and they have a biblical worldview. So the number is 278-4110. You can just look them up in the phone book. They're in Johnston. Weiss and Merkel. Weiss and Merkel. And it's next Thursday. I'm sorry, next Tuesday and then Thursday. It's next Thursday and the Thursday after that, the 10th and 17th. $49 for a couple. And just call them up and ask them if you go. If you want to go, just call them up and see if it's something you might want to do. It's 4 hours out of your life, and I'll bet you dollars to donuts that you pick up something that will help you when you plan your retirement. All right, and if you're under the age of 35, you got to go do this. It's one thing to wait until you're my age to start thinking about retirement. But if you're 35 years old or younger and you start to think about retirement now, do you have any idea the amount of, I shouldn't say revenue, the amount of wealth you'll have if it's managed correctly? I mean, you'll never worry for anything, and your kids probably won't worry either. And when you die, you'll have something to leave to them or to laugh at them and say, I'm not leaving you anything, but I'm giving it all to the church. But you won't know how to do that unless you go to something like this. Weiss and Merkel. Or Merkel. Why do I keep saying Merkel? Weiss and Merkel. And it's next Thursday the 10th and then Thursday the 17th. All right. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, watching the chat, and also the Service Engine Truth Text Talk line at 515-809-0993. 515. Well, Frank, I'll let you give the number because you're so very good at it. And I've missed your voice.
Well, that is true. And you did get it wrong the last couple of days. You've said 240. Don't want to correct you, but
you just did.
But I just did. 515-244-0077.
That's the studio line.
That's the studio line. And our Truth Text Talk line is 515-809-0993.
He's like an elephant. Now, we have a special guest today, and he's not our guest. We don't have a guest today, but he is sitting in for the missing in action Chris Roloff. And I shouldn't say missing in action. Well, the official word is that he's not in the office this afternoon. The truth of the matter is he got a free pass to an all-day pizza buffet. And so he's just eating. And see, what he does is he eats like 3 times more than you and I would eat. And then he tells the server that he's just got to go out to his car and get something. He walks around the building 3 or 4 times and then comes back in and does it again. And he's going to do that all day. He's hoping to consume his weight in pizza today.
And what's the purpose of that?
I don't know. Because he's trying to live a healthier life in the month of February, and February's over. Remember, he did that for February. He did that, what was it, a challenge or some health challenge? And now it's over with. So now he's just going to eat pizza all day. All right. So anyway, Jeb Eishide.
Yes, sir.
Did I say that right? Don't call me sir. It's Mac. Jeb Eishide, just like Jeb Bush. And how do you spell your last name?
Eisscheid.
Eisscheid. Eid. All right. So he's sitting in with Chris today, and Jeb is an intern here at 99.3 and The Truth and Webcast 1, and he works on the radio station at Grandview College, right? And what is it? The Edge?
88.1 The Edge.
The Edge, okay. Which is instructed by a man who is legendary in our industry, Steve Winsenberg. The Edge. Okay. And so, do you ever do talk?
Yes, I do it all the time. I have a weekly show.
Oh, you do talk?
Yes.
Really? What do you do? What do you talk about?
Well, we have done a variety of things. My first year on KDPS radio, we talked about politics, sports, news stories. We do newscasts and all kinds of different things. This semester, we were doing a lot of more sports, just with the host I'm with. We focused on the sports aspect of things. But I love just getting into all the different genres and talking about a variety of things, because I think that's important.
We're going to talk about a variety of things today, and one of them won't be what, Frank?
One of them won't be me.
No, one of them won't be sports.
Oh, NASCAR.
Except NASCAR. Did you see the race last Sunday?
Yes.
Wasn't that wreck at the end was something else?
Yes, that was.
Do you like the new rule on this white flag, green flag thing? I think that's not good.
I think it's a complicated rule. It has something to do with where the cars are lined up on the somehow running on the backstretch. They have the right to call the thing off. But it was aggravating that there was a caution that came out. It should have been, or pardon me, there was a wreck that happened that should have brought a caution out.
Three laps to the end.
No, it was 2 laps to the end. It was a green. It was to the white flag.
Yeah, right.
They were coming to the white flag. They let the race finish, and then through the caution or through the yellow checkered. But a caution should have been thrown before they come to the white flag. So they're already breaking their own rules.
And just ask Frank, he knows. And of course, Ryan is producing. It has taken us now 14 minutes to introduce the crew today. I am at my worst.
And this is from somebody who spent about 50 years of my life following NASCAR. So,
and you're just aggravated.
Yes, I'm aggravated.
Do you yell at the TV?
Yes.
Please. Who's your favorite driver?
My favorite driver of all time was Bill Elliott.
Well, he's dead.
No, he's not. My current favorite driver was Carl Edwards till he jumped ship to Toyota. So I would say my new favorite driver is Joey Logano.
Hold on. You can't switch favorite drivers because they switched brands.
All right, let me say this. My favorite driver will always be driving a Ford.
Okay.
They will always be oval blue.
All right. And what kind of car do you drive, Frank?
Right now, I have a Nissan.
See, look at it. Look at this. He's knocking Toyota, and he's got a rice grinder himself. All right. Did you hear Mitt Romney's speech today? Holy cow. If you didn't hear it, I'm going to give you the headlines. I'll read a little bit of it for you, and then we're going to talk about it. Because my man Mitt, who I just love, he did what he does so well, and he tells the truth. The only reason there are two reasons Mitt Romney did not win the presidency. One, he was Mormon, and all the evangelicals wouldn't vote for him. And two is he doesn't lie. He tells the truth. If he changes his mind on something, the Spirit moves him, he changes his mind on something, he's going to come back and say, I've changed my mind. And they call it a flip-flop. Well, it's not a flip-flop. It's a getting more information and changing your mind, which everybody does every day. But he should have been president.
Romney won amongst what they call moderates and independents, but the base sat home on him.
Absolutely.
I went, on the other hand, and pulled the lever for Romney. I held my nose doing it, but I voted for him. But to the chagrin to find out that many of my fellow Christian conservatives refused to vote for him because of his Mormonism.
Which is just, it's ridiculous. And no, Mormonism isn't Christian.
And the nation has supposedly no religious test.
Yeah. And Mitt and I have had this conversation sitting in my living room. I told him, well, he asked me, he said, are you like a lot of Christians and don't think Mormons are Christians? And I said, yeah, Mitt, you missed the boat. And he tried to explain to me, how a Mormon is a Christian. And I just, Mitt, let's talk about politics because you're not going to win on this conversation. But anyway, all right, we're going to take our first break and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you some of the details. And it's your voice I want to hear. Frank thinks it's his, but it's not. It's yours. So 515-244-0077. Do you think the speech today by Mitt Romney will make any difference in the debate tonight? Any difference at all? We'll talk about it live here on The Truth. If I haven't told you lately, love this job. Couldn't do it without you on 99.3.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi. My name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
"21 minutes after the hour, 3:21, third day of March in the Lord's year 2016. J. Michael McCoy. Spencer Karoff will be our guest tomorrow afternoon. Looking forward to that. And we're going to talk about whatever his sermon's about on Sunday.
Sin.
Huh? Sin?
I'm sure it's sin.
Are you just guessing?
Well, isn't it always about sin?
I don't know. Could
Isn't
be
every time you go to church, doesn't they talk about sin?
No, we could be talking about discipleship. That's not sin.
Well, sin's got to be in there somewhere.
Well, sin is everywhere, Robert. Gee, many.
We're born with it, right?
What did you? Yeah, right. Did you have like too much coffee today, or your cough's all goofy?
Am I too hyper?
You're a little hyper, isn't he, Frank?
Yeah, he's hyper. He got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
All right, so here is the AP. I always try to read from AP when I can. I'm an AP stringer, which means I can write stories for AP. See, I could write a story, Frank, about you.
Well, please do.
You don't know that I may be actually undercover.
Ooh.
And writing a what would it be called? It would be called
an autobiography.
No,
hit piece.
Hit piece.
Hit piece.
I'm writing a hit piece on Frank the Verse Thomas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wink, wink, Bob. You know.
Can't wait.
In an extraordinary public rebuke of Donald J. Trump's campaign, Mitt Romney and John McCain, the last two Republican presidential nominees, denounced Mr. Trump in forceful terms. Excuse me. Denounced Mr. Trump in forceful terms on Thursday and warned that his election could put the United States and even its democratic political system in peril. Now, let's remember something right up front. Neither John McCain nor Mitt Romney have endorsed any candidate. So this is not, this isn't Cruz or Rubio or somebody's people out there smashing Donald Trump. These are two men who have run for president, who have served elected office, and they're concerned.
McCain is too?
Yeah, McCain. He is too.
Okay.
All right, that his election could put the United States and even its democratic political system in peril, offering himself as a bulwark against Mr. Trump's march. What's a bulwark, Frank? I've never heard that term before. Offering himself as a bulwark against Mr. Trump's march to the nomination, Mr. Romney laid out a precise and lengthy case against Mr. Trump, lacerating his business dealings, his erratic pronouncements on national security, and demeaning treatment of women, minorities, and the disabled. Mr. Romney warned that Mr. Trump's nomination would be I can't say this word. Calamitous. Calamitous. Right there, Frank. Calamitous. So it'd be a calamity. Calamitous for the Republican Party, and quoting John Adams, even suggested it could be suicidal for the country. Evoking the specter, he said Mr. Trump was amplifying a quote-unquote brand of anger that has led other nations into the abyss. Quoting again, his domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. He has neither the temperament nor the judgment to be president. Mr. McCain, once a rival of Mr. Romney's, effectively linked arms with him soon after his address, saying that he shared Mr. Romney's dismay about Mr. Trump's ascent to the presidency, referring to a public letter released on Thursday by dozens of conservative national security leaders who vowed never to support Mr. Trump. Mr. McCain echoed their concerns about Mr. Trump, and I quote, ununiformed and indeed dangerous statements on national security issues. The onslaught against Mr. Trump appeared amid sowing new doubt among voters about a man who has taken firm command of the Republican presidential race and stiffening the resolve of mainstream Republicans to reject Mr. Trump. The timing of the assault after Mr. Trump's commanding electoral victories on Tuesday may make it futile, and Mr. Romney's history with Mr. Trump, which he ignored in his comments on Thursday, could undercut the power of the warning Mr. Romney eagerly sought and publicized his endorsement in 2012, even as Mr. Trump heckled and harassed President Obama with accusations that he was not born in the United States, but he never gave Romney his support. In an addendum to his speech conveyed on Twitter, Mr. Romney said that he would not have accepted the endorsement had Mr. Trump, at the time, made any other divisive remarks he had delivered recently. All right, so Trump then came back in a speech and called Romney a failed candidate and mocked him for his politically damaging 2012 comments about the 47%. I think it was the 49%, wasn't it? 47% of Americans who did not pay taxes, and for fumbling his final debate with Mr. Obama. He described Mr. Romney as having debased himself to secure a Trump endorsement in that election. Quote, unquote, he was begging for my endorsement, Trump said. I could have said, Mitt, drop to your knees. He said that. Trump said that. Mr. Romney's associates have called that characterization inaccurate. All right. So, in Romney's speech, he especially cast Mr. Trump as an unacceptable candidate and under any circumstances a phony and a fraud who could not be trusted with the nation's highest office. Such language would be impossible to retract in a general election campaign and all but precludes a later endorsement. Okay. So what do you think, Frank?
Well, first off, this is reminiscent of what Harry Reid did to Mitt Romney during the campaign when he insinuated that a friend had told him that Romney had paid no taxes for 15 years. Later on, Reid was confronted that this was found out to be a lie. And Reid's response was, well, he isn't president, is he? Mm-hmm. So Romney's trying to do this exact same thing to Trump by tossing out the term bombshell with a question mark. Is there a potential bombshell? Just implying innuendo. As LBJ used to say, just get the blankety blank to have to deny something, and you've won the battle. As long as you've got your opponent denying something, you're putting him on the defensive. So whether it's a lie or not, whether it's the truth or not, just get him to deny it. That makes it a story.
So you don't agree with Mr. Romney?
No, I don't, because who's going to take advice from a two-time loser?
Excuse me?
I voted for the man, but he would not take the fight to Obama. He would not take the battle to them because advisors got a hold of Romney and told Romney to play nice. Don't tick off the women voters. Don't tick off the moderates. Don't tick off the independents. Romney won the independents and moderates against Obama, but his own base sat home because of that strategy. So why are we going to take advice from that?
Now, I guess my question is, Romney and McCain are Republican establishment people, correct?
Well, I guess Absolutely. You could call them that. I mean, Romney.
And, from what I'm hearing in the media is that the people are rebelling against the establishment.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, McCain and Trump are kind of preaching to the choir here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the people that support Trump are going to listen to this.
Did that article?
I don't either.
You just heard somebody sitting on your left prove that.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that article say that Trump did not endorse Romney in 12? My memory seems to recall that Trump endorsed Romney at the end and probably donated to his campaign, but I can't say that with any.
Mr. Romney's associates have called that that characterization inaccurate. That Trump said he was begging for my endorsement. I could have said, "Mitt, drop to your knees." I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say here that Trump ever endorsed him.
My question is, what happens to the establishment, the Republican Party, if Trump wins the nominee?
Yeah, and by the way, that's the voice of Jeb Eichscheid, and he's our guest today. And Jeb is a student at Grandview College and is interning here at the radio station, and so that's why he's on the radio. And other reason is because Chris is out at an all-day pizza buffet. All right. Say that again. So what did you say again?
What will happen to the establishment, referring to the Republican Party, if Trump wins the nominee? Do you think that there's a little ill will here from Romney and McCain?
Absolutely. Well, I would amplify your question by putting it this way. What happens if Trump is the nomination and he gets cheated out of it, let's say?
Whoa. What do you mean cheated? You mean Hillary wins?
No. I mean, if some shenanigans go on at the convention over the delegate count, and somehow they try to trot in a Mitt Romney to be the savior of the party, or a Paul Ryan, etc. Absolutely, I will almost guarantee you that the 40% that is voting for Trump right now will not vote for any candidate that they try to run in there.
Or they'll go vote for Hillary.
That's if and unless Trump decides that he would run third party.
All right, let's go to the phones. Paul is standing by. Paul, you're live in Max World. How you doing today?
Max, like I said before, they'll always go third party. Doesn't make a difference. It's to help Hillary win. I don't know why everybody wants Hillary to win. The Republican Party really wants her to win. I mean...
You think that Mitt Romney and John McCain want Hillary as president?
John McCain said before, I'd rather have Hillary than a couple other people that were running before. And as far as Mitt Romney, he's exactly the same as in there right now.
Well, the contempt...
He's an extremely liberal Republican.
Paul, the contempt for Ted Cruz from John McCain is palpable. McCain absolutely despises, with his every breath, Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hates him to death. And he doesn't have any respect at all for the young Marco Rubio. There's none there at all. The guy hasn't got enough Hollywood government experience there. Hollywood, government. Same.
Paul, do you think that the establishment is going to run a third-party candidate?
Well, they're going to run one just so Hillary will win. That's all it's about, trying to get her in there. I don't know what the big push is to get her in there, but she's either got enough stink on everybody or of enough stuff that they have already did and signed off with Obama, a program that they're going to get caught for it too. So,
Paul, have you read the story that the person that set up the server for Hillary Clinton has been given immunity to testify? It looks like to me, I don't see how she's even going to make it to the convention without being indicted.
Remember, there's really, even though somebody goes immunity, doesn't really mean that there's a story there. He could just say that for whatever reason to where he gets out of trouble, and then it looks like everybody's doing their job.
All right, Paul.
They're done that.
I appreciate your voice. As always, it's welcome here in Max World, 515-244-0077, or you can text us at the Service Legends Truth Talk text line at 515-809-0993. Are you going to vote for Trump? Mitt Romney says we'd be crazy. What do you think? We're coming back with your voice on The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the service manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, 3:38, third day of March in the Lord's year 2016. I'm J. Michael McCoy, full cast and crew. Ryan producing, Frank the Verse Thomas in the house, Bob Montserrat, the cat in the hat, watching the chat, and your text number at 515-809-0993. That's right. You dial that number, and you can text us. You don't have to call us. You don't have to pick up the phone and wait to be on hold, but we'd love for you to do that. I love your voice. Your voice is more important to me than your text, but your text is more important than nothing because I need to hear from you. I need to hear what you think. Does this speech by Mitt Romney play into tonight's debate? You say no.
Well, the moderators will obviously make it an issue, but I don't think it's going to deter the Trump bus. Tuesday night, they said they're going to rename Super Tuesday Trumper Tuesday.
Jeez. We also have a special guest today, Jeb Eichscheid. Jeb is a senior at Grandview College and is an intern here at 99.3 and webcast1live.com. Welcome, Jeb. And he has experience in talk radio. In fact, how many years have you been doing talk radio?
About 2.
So you have more experience than Frank.
I've been at it about 2.
Have you? Oh, okay. What were you going to say?
I'm filling in for Chris. He's over doing his pizza right now.
He's eating pizza all day. It's how much he's trying to eat his weight in pizza is what he's doing today. And so the folks down at Old Chicago, man, they're putting out pizzas like Betsy puts out cow milk. All right, did you want to say something else?
So when we're talking about the establishment here, we know that Romney is part of the establishment, very much so. Frank, we were talking about this earlier. If Trump wins the nominee, what does this mean for the establishment?
Well, the establishment is here's what Donald Trump's going to do. And I gave this analogy. In NASCAR back in the 90s, NASCAR had got they had just couldn't control the cheating. So they went into
the world according to Garp.
So they
right
went.
here.
They went into the garage and they hired the best cheater in the garage, the best crew chief cheater in the garage to police the cheating. I say the same thing about Trump. Trump has donated. He's greased the skids. He's had to get permits. He's had to go through EPA regulations and hoops to get whatever he's needed done in government. So he's had to smooze politicians on both sides of the aisle. He knows how the sausage making is done. What Trump will do is he's going to pull back the curtain and show you how politics really run, and the establishment doesn't want that to be seen. Because they will see, they highlighted it with how Bush's donors and how much money the donors has run to try to beat him. And they're going to show how this donor-politician relationship works in politics and how you got to jump when your donors say jump.
All right. Our brains of the operation, Bob Montserrat, looked up on the Google to see if, in fact, Trump had endorsed Mitt Romney. And not only did he endorse him, but guess what Mitt Romney said about Trump? Go ahead. You're reading from the Washington Examiner,
right?
Which is the Washington State paper. That's not Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay. Well, it says 2 days before the 2012 Nevada caucus in Las Vegas, Trump endorsed Romney.
2012.
2012.
Okay.
Trump endorsed Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. And anyways, and then Trump said, "It's my honor, real honor, to endorse Mitt Romney." Then he said that Romney was tough and smart and so forth. Anyway, Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary...
Wait, hold on. This is now Mitt Romney talking about Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. Romney said this. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad. He's one of the few people who stood up and said China has been cheating. They've taken jobs from Americans. They haven't played fair. We have to have a president who will stand up to cheaters.
What's changed?
Well, let's remember something, guys. Okay. I, myself, on this radio show 3-4 months ago, was for Trump. And I changed my mind.
Can I dispute that?
Can you dispute it?
Tell me, I'm going to give you some truth, sir. Were you truly for Trump, or was you just entertaining the idea that it was going to be a good show? I don't think you were ever a true hardcore Trump supporter. You were toying with the idea.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. But I would tell you at that time, had we had the caucus the next day or that night, I probably would have pulled the lever for Donald Trump.
Okay.
But yes, you are more correct than I am that I was, I'm not going to use your phrase, toying with, but I was seriously considering Trump as my nominee.
Well, because you've said yourself, and I mentioned this the other day, you've always wondered what it would be like to have a geek like Steve Forbes, Ross Perot, Donald Trump, somebody who was a business entrepreneur, successful business entrepreneur, have a shot at running the country, and could they do any worse than the professional politicians?
But see, the Mitt Romneys, the Ross Perots, and even Forbes, they were never jerks or idiots. Even Ross Perot, who had that voice and those ears and those pointers, you know what I mean, and had that Texas drawl. Even they weren't jerks. That's what I don't want in a president. I think it's great for a talk show host. I don't mind watching him on TV fire people. I think it's entertaining. I'm just not sure how that works in the White House. And as Romney said, and let me find that quote again, his domestic policies would lead to recession. His foreign policies would make America and the world less safe. And he has neither the temperament or the judgment to be president.
Did you watch, by chance, instead of having a campaign rally Tuesday night, Trump held what, quote unquote, was called a news conference? Did you watch
it was a
that?
press conference. Yeah, I did.
Did he sound a little bit more presidential?
Absolutely.
That night.
Absolutely.
I thought so.
Absolutely. He kept his temper. I mean, there was the one guy that pushed a little hard. But see, the problem is I in a way, I like the way Trump is. I just don't know how long it can last. I see an incredible amount of respect being lost for Donald Trump by important people because they just get tired of the berating.
Now, hold on. Romney is part of the establishment. We just referenced this. Don't you think there's something going on behind the scenes as to why Romney would do something like this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. It's like Frank said a little bit ago. You want to tell me how the sausage is being made. I don't know. I don't see Mitt Romney as kowtowing to anybody because Mitt Romney's never going to run for anything again. Unless they're going to run Mitt Romney as an independent. Or they're planning on coming in and, as Frank said, blow up the convention and nominate somebody else. That's the only reason. Now, what do you think? You put the tinfoil hat on and tell me what you think.
People are tired of politicians. Trump has came out many times stating he is not a politician, he is a businessman. Don't you think that because of this, Trump is only going to prosper even further? I mean, he's been outsmarting people the whole campaign.
Yeah.
Every time we come on air here and when we talk about how, he said this, he said that, it's going to hurt him.
Yeah,
and his poll numbers go up and up and up.
Yeah, I know. But see, that's like going to a NASCAR race and only watching because you want the wrecks, right?
Isn't that the most exciting part of NASCAR?
Well, but it's not the competitive part.
Sure.
Frank, what? I've got a minute before the break. Hurry up.
Well, it's like the woman that falls in love with a guy and immediately starts trying to change him. And then she finds out that when he changes, she ain't the guy she's really in love with because she's changed him so much. Let's not mess with Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump. Let him be Donald Trump. If he's a failure, he's a failure. If he's a success, he's a success. But wouldn't you like a guy like that dealing and negotiating with Iran over our hostages and $150 billion that John Kerry admitted is going to go to blowing up Americans?
All right, let's take our next break. Here we are, just a bunch of guys on the radio. It's really your voice I want to hear. Would you please call and tell me what you think? Do you think this is going to impact Trump? Or is this going to, like Jeb said, like every time else somebody's come after Trump, his poll numbers go up? What's your thoughts? I want to hear them. 515-244-0077. We're live here on The Truth. Did you hear that? It's The Truth on 99.3.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
minutes before the top of the hour, 3:50, third day of March in the Lord's year 2016. Is that new bumper music, Ryan? That's the same one? Well, I like that music. I guess I'm usually not listening to the bumper music. Salem Radio Network News coming up at the top of the hour, and then we'll come back and we're just going to continue some of this conversation. I've also got some really interesting news stories. The Iowa House is considering approving that pharmacies could prescribe and dispense birth control pills for females of any age. Yep.
No doctor.
No doctor. Any age.
Where did they get this stuff from? I mean, just
the liberals.
Well, I mean, are other states doing this? I'm assuming other states do it, and we're trying to copy them.
You know, that's a good question. It was introduced by Senator Janet Peterson, who's a Democrat from Des Moines. Bill is supported. Oh, listen to this. The bill is supported by the Iowa Academy of Family Physicians and the Iowa Osteopathic Medical Association, but is opposed by the Iowa Medical Society. Senator Amy Skinler of Allerton noted many potential side effects of oral contraceptives, including increased risk of breast cancer, liver cancer, abdominal pain, and other problems. Yeah, but you're not going to have an abortion, are you? I mean, this is just the government wanting to take more control over your family, less control for the parents. I mean, I think it's appalling. I just think it's absolutely appalling that a young woman under the 18, well, first of all, I think abortion's appalling. But the fact that a young woman under the age of 18 can go to Planned Parenthood and get an abortion and they don't have to notify her parents, that is absurd, Frank.
A school nurse isn't allowed to give your adolescent child a aspirin without parental permission in school. And even if they got it, I don't think they'll dispense them. So does that make any sense that we can allow underage girls to have abortions without parental notification?
Another story later on, what some evangelical leaders around the country are saying about Donald Trump. Also, Frank, I bet you're not a blue cheese fan, are you? You just don't look like a blue cheese fan.
No, I'm not.
Do you like blue cheese, Bob?
I don't eat that, but
you don't. Jeb, do you like blue cheese?
I'm more of a ranch guy myself.
Are you? Well, I'm a blue cheese guy. Blue cheese and Roquefort, and there's a big recall of Iowa's favorite blue cheese, Maytag raw milk blue cheese, due to a possible listeria contamination. What's listeria, Bob?
I'm not sure what that...
Okay, never mind then. I just thought maybe you'd know off the top of your head. It can cause short-term symptoms like high fever, stiffness, headache, nausea, diarrhea, abdominal pain. In healthy people, it can also lead to miscarriages. Ooh. And stillbirths for pregnant women.
Okay, it's bacterium. Yeah.
So I'll tell you later on. We'll talk about that. For more information, just call Hy-Vee Customer Care Center, and there's more information. But if you have blue cheese, Maytag blue cheese in your house, there's a problem. Anyway, there's some other stories we want to follow. Let's go to the phones right now. Hi, you're live in Max World. Who's this?
Army Brad.
Army Brad. Why don't you use your correct title of Secretary of Defense?
Because I can only use that in Max World, and somebody outside the Max World might not understand what's going on.
Oh, okay. So, Army Brad, live from the great state of Arkansas.
I might have to update my LinkedIn, though, because that would look good on that, I think. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Former Secretary of Defense.
In the emphasize it for Max World only, so.
Yeah, no, just say in the McCoy administration.
Okay. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, and then when you put President McCoy and then you put the dates, just make the dates wrong. Like make it, I don't know, make it 2375 to 2390. So I would have been president for 15.
Those numbers don't work up at all, but that's okay.
Okay.
We'll figure it out, brother.
All right, what's your thoughts?
Well, here's my thoughts when it comes to Mr. Trump, because when I hear the statements on the mainstream media, I go and I actually listen to the whole statement in its entirety, and it's something completely different, and I go, oh, okay, that's not a big deal, or that's not what he said at all. And he is a successful businessman, and if he was as dangerous and as they're trying to make him appear currently on the party that he's the front runner for, he could have never ran a business. He's a successful man. It's not like he hasn't ever held a real job in the civilian world. Like
we have two senators that have never had a real job that I've ever seen, have accomplished anything, and they're talking about how a man that's made $10 billion?
Yeah.
Can't run an economy. They haven't done anything other than sat and debated about stuff.
Well, the senators, yeah.
And Kasich, has he ever, there's a couple states he might have got second place in, but he hasn't really greatly performed in this whole thing. He's always been kind of the second tier kind of guy.
Yeah, Kasich, here's what Kasich thinks his value is, and it is a value. He's from Ohio.
True.
Second largest state with delegates. If you can win Ohio and you can win Florida.
But here's the thing with Mr. Trump. He's put in states for the Republicans that I don't think have been in the mix for a very long time.
Yeah, no, that's true. Frank, hurry up. You were about out of time.
Quickly, Brad, I second what you said about chopping up and editing videos. I saw one the other night where they were using Trump saying he likes uneducated voters, but he actually said, I like educated voters, I like the uneducated, I like everybody. I like all my voters.
I like all people, but they want to take the little clip where he says, I like uneducated voters, and they want to run with that, so they're being very dishonest and very deceptive, and you're right to call them on it.
All right, Brad, I appreciate you listening. You coming home this weekend?
No. I don't have a home there anymore, brother.
Oh, you don't?
No.
So you're all the way down in Arkansas forever?
At least until my little girl gets out of high school.
Shoot!
Something else strange.
She's 6 years old.
No, she just told me today that she was 7 3/4, but she's 7 1/2.
Okay. Brad, I love you. Thanks for listening, and thanks for calling in. I'll see you later. All right, man, we are up against a break here, which we're going to take. Salem Radio Network News will update us. I'm sure they're going to have some comments on this. Isn't this funny? We are in the middle of this race, and Iowans happen to be so much skin in the game, because of our caucuses. But this is very entertaining, to think about somebody like Mitt Romney, because Mitt Romney is not a schmuck. And I'd like somebody to tell me he is, because he's not. You may not like him, and you may not disagree with him, but he's not a schmuck. And for him to come out and say this about Donald, he's basically waving the black flag and saying, pay attention here, folks, or the red flag, I guess. Pay attention here, folks. This is not a guy you want as president. And he's got no skin in the game. He's got nothing to gain. Or does he? That's the question. It's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. 515-244-0077. The Truth Talk text line from Service Legends is 515-809-0993. And we'll see you back here in just a minute. Salem Radio Network News next on The Truth.